All right, I think it's showing us live, but I'm not seeing it come up on my YouTube. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, I got because that's how I read the comments on the phone.
All right, yep, we're live. Let's wait to see. How does it show you if there's anyone tuned in or not yet on this?
You go to your page.
Like
you see how I'm on Ride.K9 and I click like it see you going live. So like.
Oh, okay. You know, there's some people on here. We're getting some comments.
See Booter on there. And Mike Dilla, stay true, never change. Say what's up, Joe.
All right, what's up, guys? All right, I got it now. We're gonna wait. Looks like we got 4 people tuned in. We're gonna give this a minute. We're gonna give this just another minute to get a few more people in here. Hey, what's going on? What's going on? That's Ixa, I think her name is. I just talked to her over the phone. If I'm saying that wrong, apologize. But this topic's gonna be about using toys and treats and things like that as a high value reward system when it pertains to dog training and just getting your dog to listen to you around the house. And then we're gonna we got a few people in here. Carlos, what's up, everybody? Looks like we got about 10. And then we're gonna go and do a little bit of discussion about differentiating your pets from your children and how they're not the same thing. Okay. All right, Ty, if you see anything come up, comment wise that I'm not seeing here.
I'm looking at the. Yeah, you just talk. I'm looking at.
All right. So you guys can go ahead and ask questions as we're going along here. But I guess I'll start the topic off with. I see a lot of people have. All right. So if a dog has more toy drive. In the prey drive category, right? Would you categorize food drive, prey drive, toy drive all in the same thing?
Yep.
All right, so if your dog has more, when it pertains to that drive, they focus more on food versus toys, and you're always keeping your dog fed, and that dog doesn't really have much toy drive when it pertains to that category, you're gonna have a lot of consequences getting that dog motivated. So say you had a dog like Royce. Royce isn't very toy driven. Like when I pull out a toy, he has very rare toys where he just goes nuts over them, but rarely does he really care too much. He's more of a food oriented type of dog when it pertains to getting motivated like that. Because all dogs work on a currency system, the same way me, you, Ty, or anyone else in the world is motivated to go to work every day. You know, if you knew you had to go put in 40 hours a week and you weren't getting a paycheck, I don't think too many people would be going to work every day. And on the same token, if you went to work every day and you're making $5.50 an hour, and then the guy next to you is doing the exact same job, been there exact same time, but he's making $10.50 an hour, your motivation to do better work than the guy next to you is pretty slim. So the same thing goes with the dogs, with these toys and food. So if they're constantly getting food, let me rephrase this metaphor here, because if I paid you $5.50 an hour to sit at home and do nothing, or told you had to go to work 40 hours a week for $5.50 an hour,
you ain't gonna be motivated.
You're not gonna be motivated to go to work. I had 2 different metaphors going on in my head there for a minute. So that's the same thing when it pertains to the food drive. So if your dog's constantly fed well, never hungry, and you pull it out to train and the dog's giving you no focus, you know, where's your motivation? Where's your motivation to train? So the incentive's not there. And the same thing when it pertains to toys. Like, see a lot of people post pictures with their dogs, doing videos with their dogs, talking to me over the phone about their dogs, and telling me how their dog's not food driven, can't get it to do anything with food. That dog I was training the other day, couldn't get it to train with any toys. But if you look in the dog's crate or wherever the dog's hanging out, there's like more toys than there is space for the dog to lay down some of the time.
And food. Some people overfeed their dogs.
Yeah, like constantly open feeding. Like just anytime the bowl's empty, they fill it back up, or they got those they look like those water machines. They got the gallon bucket over top, and the dog walks up, and every time it eats a little bit, more food comes out. So the dog has no incentive. So if I took this toy right here, they go nuts for this toy. Absolutely crazy. There's dogs running up from the kennels right now because I'm holding this thing in the air. Now, if I took this toy and I threw it in the kennel and just left it there during this whole live, nobody'd be touching that toy. And you hear him going crazy over it right now? And if I pulled that dog out after sitting in the kennel for 2 hours with that toy and tried to use that toy as my reward system to get them to do what I want when it comes to teaching them a new trick, they're going to give me no effort. I mean, the way I train, and Ty, you could follow up if you agree or disagree with this, but I give the command with a high value reward on a leash. So leash reward, then I go leash no reward, then I go no leash with a reward, and then the final product is no leash, no reward. So you're just doing it because I told you to, but
yeah, that's the sequence. That's how it's done. That's how it's done.
Yep. You got your beginning stage, which is your
off leash, no treats is the goal. Like whatever the dog says, you say, dog does, you good. That's the goal, and that's where I know Prince is at that point.
Yeah, Prince is at that point, but I don't care if I have a completely trained dog. If I'm teaching him something new, no matter if I can walk up and down a main road in downtown Cleveland or up and down Sarasota, Florida Mall, off leash, if I'm teaching that dog something new, I'm going to start from ground zero, exactly where I started when I started teaching the dog how to sit or walk on a leash or give me the paw. We're going to go back on the leash around 0 distractions, and we're going to have whatever the dog likes more, food reward or a toy reward. That toy right there works for everyone here, even Royce, who's not very toy driven. But we're going to start with the leash, no distractions, and a toy. Every time they start to show even the slightest bit of moving in the right direction of what I'm asking them to do, I'm hitting them with the toy. They're getting that reward right there. And then next time we're going to start building thresholds to where I'm asking a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. Now I know you're understanding it. We're going to take it a little bit further, and it's going to be reward with that toy every time.
Noel just said,
what's that?
Noel just said, what's up? Noel.
Hey, what's up, Noel? And then after that, we're not going to move into any distractions yet, but we're going to stay in the same place. But now I'm going to expect you to do that same command that now I know you're comprehending without that reward. Then we're going to take you back out around a little bit of distractions, and we're going to start from ground zero again, because this is what people I see all the time is, man, and they're getting frustrated. So say they're telling their dog to, I don't know, even something simple as a recall. Man, when we're at the house, I tell the dog to come. He's on it like that every time. Now I take him out here, he acts like he doesn't know it. You never trained around any stimulation.
Adaptive intelligence. That's where all those videos where you be talking about when you go to Home Depot and go to the firehouse and all that. That's a necessity. Like at least talk about the importance of taking them places to train. Yeah, that's important.
Yeah, and I'm actually going to be working with a dog, another personal friend, that I'm helping out, and it's going to be a learning experience for me too. He has a pit bull terrier. What he says is a pit bull terrier. I haven't seen the dog yet, but it's a year old.
Oh, it's a puppy. What's up, Deshaun? Deshaun, with Fats. He said what's up.
Oh yeah, I hope Fats is doing all right. I seen you posted something about him spraining his ankle or something.
But what you say about you say the 1-year-old American Pit Bull Terrier?
Yeah, so he's got a 1-year-old American Pit Bull Terrier. What he claims, I haven't seen the dog yet, so that's just what he's telling me. But he got it as a puppy. from a breeder, and never done anything with the dog. I mean, it doesn't listen to anybody in the house, doesn't listen to him, and it's actually never even been taken anywhere. And I didn't know I had to take it anywhere. So what he started taking it places now. Over the last, I think, 2 weeks, he started trying to take it out, and the dog's extremely fearful, extremely barky, and scaring the crap out of everybody it comes across. So, Ty, why don't you tell them what you do as soon as you get a puppy that you're going to be training? What's the foundation work you put in, like from, let's say, it's got all its vaccinations?
Yeah, like for example, if that situation, like where the guy bought a puppy from a source that's not like credible, like a background, like pedigree wise, knowing what he got. What I do is, especially dogs like that have all these different issues. Me personally, first thing I do is they bring the dog to me. I make them bring the dog to me, like walk the dog up to me. And then first thing I do is take a dog on a walk with one of my dogs. Because you know the power of what Prince and Royce and all these hurricane dogs, the influence that these dogs have over other people's dogs. Mm-hmm. And so what happened is, if you know how you had the conversation with the owner, how he was saying that the dog has this problem, this problem, this problem, that problem. Yeah, I'd be like, okay, he told me all the things that the dog does. Us as trainers and professionals, our job is not to see the problem, is to create the solution. So I know all the problems. They told me the problems. So first thing I do is I set a new platform of the solution, which is if a dog is a puppy, like a year old and under, first thing they got to do is meet a hurricane dog and just go for a walk, where they can be introduced to a new type of energy. Well, you know how, like you say, let's say you take that puppy and you just automatically, let's go for a walk with Prince. And you know Prince is going to be chilling. You're going to say sit. Prince going to sit, but you know Prince is a dominant ass dog. Yeah. So whatever Prince do, the dog going to do, right? Right. And then, so once you get that dog, this is what I would do. And then once that you come back on a walk, the dog is going to be like a little bit mentally tired. And then you let Prince go, then I mess around and take Royce and be like, go play with Royce to get the dog to loosen up. So that fear kind of like fades away. So if I was in like your shoes, that's what I would do with that dog. But if somebody has like a dog like that owns something like that, no disrespect to the owner, but that's neglect. Like that's the owner's fault. Yeah. Yeah, it ain't the dog's fault. So like, you know, you can fix that. That's rude. Something like that for you, that's easy. But it'll be more of a challenge of just helping that owner understand like that even though you fix it, he can't continue to do what he's doing. He have to do what you're doing. If he don't want to do it, he's gonna have to pay you to continue to do it. Yeah. No, I was actually, and I'll tell you what my plan is with that, but I was actually talking about, say you're getting a dog for yourself. Like a puppy at 8 weeks old, the steps you take to properly raise it, say the first 6 months, the most important key steps that must be done from 8 weeks to 6 months. So break that. If I got a puppy 8 weeks, like what I do. Yeah. What's up, Lovecraft? What's up, man? I got you. If I got a puppy, me personally, 8-week-old puppy, I'm gonna house that puppy with my best dog, which is Hollywood. Because what we have to learn as species, that every species learn good. Like, you know how me and you have conversations? Like, we learn because we're human beings. Mm-hmm. Dogs learn their best from other dogs. So if I have an 8-week-old puppy, I'm going to start surrounding that puppy around dogs I wanted to learn from. And then if it's not around those dogs, it's either going to be kenneled or it's going to be with me. Like, you know, you see me going live and I'm holding the puppy. Yep. Like, everything I'm doing with a young puppy, I'm controlling everything they do. So they don't, like, I don't have puppies chew things up because they don't have the opportunity to do it. So either they're kenneled by them, either with a dog that I want them to learn from, or they're like being with me where I can like, you know how to be working with a puppy, teaching them to sit and you call them and they follow you. Like if I'm like walking around the property, the puppy just follow me around everywhere. So you look up. You remember when you came in my yard? This is a couple years ago. I would walk over to the park and all the dogs would just follow me.
Yep.
Now remember when you seen Royce? Royce is what like. When Royce was what was he like 12? I don't know how old he was, like 3-4 months.
When I came down there?
Yeah.
He was probably about under a year. He was probably about 10 months old.
Yeah, he's a young puppy. And then you was like, he not gonna go nowhere? I was like, hell no. I opened up the gate. And
when I came down there, he was 6 months old.
Yeah, I'm talking about when Royce was like a little puppy.
Yeah, when I came to pick him up, I was getting the teeth.
Yeah. Remember, I was like, bro, he learned from, the older dogs. So like he's a young puppy, and I know when you went home, the whole ride back, what did he do?
He passed out, sleeping, belly up.
He learned that behavior from older dogs. So for me, if somebody's not me, like say somebody tuned in to Ride or Die Canine's channel and they're like, oh, I just got a puppy. The first thing you need to do is surround your dog around other dogs that you like. Like I like that dog. Let's say you go to a dog park and you're like, man, they dog listen good. They're amazing. You need to go shake their hands and make them a friend and be like, let's go on some play dates. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So that is something that I would say if I was just having a puppy and develop them. And that's what like these puppies I got here right now, I spend a lot of time with those puppies. Like when, everybody that gets, like, for example, when Noel tuned in, when he got his puppy, he was like, this bitch is like on, why? Because she was with her mama and you know what I'm saying? Like they learn from the older dogs. So it's a thing of, that's the best advice I give somebody. Surround your dog around dogs that you want your dog to act like. And then you just got to be consistent. You can't do it once a week or once every blue moon.
And another thing I learned from you is I will take that dog every single place I can.
Everywhere.
Anywhere I could possibly go. If I got to run up to, if I'm going to the mailbox, the puppy's coming with me to the mailbox.
Take him, yep.
If I'm going grocery shopping, I'm going grocery shopping.
That's why the family who got, how on point you had Odin for that short amount of time?
Yeah.
Like if anybody like that follows you, they know who Odin is. Odin was like that because you knew the importance of consistency and being around. He learned from, remember he would act like Prince a lot, Father Prince.
Yeah, big time. He's got dry for days, and it's all focused on the owner.
Yeah. So
anything the owner wants, Odin wants to just please you, and that's every single one of these hurricane dogs. I mean, every single one of them. And that's
anybody that buy these dogs. I know you got the little kid. Anybody buy these dogs, they know exactly what they're getting. The biggest challenge is trainers, though. When you're working with dogs that are outside of what hurricane is, we have a lot of people that breed dogs that really, they're not breeding with a purpose. Yeah. So, and I did that video where I talked about the instinctive intelligence.
Yep.
And,
I just watched that yesterday.
Yeah, I did that because like a lot of people would ask me questions and they really didn't understand how the dog thinks. So I was like, I wish I'd have did that video years ago because sometimes I just give them the whole drive, talk about the different drives. But I'm glad I just finally told people like how I look. This is when I do those videos, that's how I think. Like when I'm like observing the dog, I'm like, okay, let's say I go to as a trainer, right? You know how I've had these training facilities in different locations. Like I'll be like, okay, if I train this dog in the mall and if I take this dog home, and then if I take this dog to another location and the dog does not respond the same, the dog is not adaptive in their training. So I'll have to communicate because sometimes, let's say I kept the dog at the mall and then the dog was beautifully performing at the mall, but I never took them nowhere. Then I'm false advertising saying the dog is trained to do whatever. Yep. So I just took from things that I already done so people can really understand like dog training is not just, it's tons of people. I think probably 80+% of people that own dogs, they dogs listen at home, they go in public, dog will run off and do dumb stuff because they can understand, and people do it with their kids, their own kids. If kids in their home, they go in public and they start showing their that you have to understand that everything you do with your dog, your puppy, you have to do it everywhere. Like just like Joe's like, if you go to the mailbox, take him. I don't look. If you go to Walmart, if you go to church, I don't give a damn what. Bring them. Like it don't matter what the situation is. Bring your dog if you want to have like that level of like success of complete control at all times.
And people get this confused too. What it means to socialize a dog. Socialization doesn't have to be your dog going up to everybody or going up to every other animal. If I'm driving down the street in my car, I'm socializing my dog.
Yep.
I mean, it's being exposed to different environments. We're driving in the car. Do you know how many people have issues driving in the car with their dog? I mean, I've seen dogs won't get in the car, and when they do, they're frozen like a statue. You know, they have so much anxiety because they were never exposed to that enough at the critical parts of puppyhood. What is it, 8 to 16 weeks? Like you have that short window to do a lot of things that if they don't get done, lifelong problems coming your way.
Yeah, you can have some. Yeah, that young puppy. You know when when you wing. You know how litters when you winging them off their mama. Like that vulnerable. That 8, 10, 12. That is so important because like you can literally go. You know how we have like whelping areas for the puppies.
Yeah,
it's even a transition when you're going from whelping area to grass, like outside. They're gonna like touch the grass and be like, "What the fuck is this?" You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when you introduce these things and be like, you know, I get down on the ground. I'm there with them, and they're like, "This is good." You know what I mean? You know, you put them on whatever new environment, new surfaces. Where, of course, with what we do when we ship dogs, all puppies gonna be nervous in a new environment. But when you introduce them to these things young, it's easy for them to go and handle new situations because they're used to experiencing new things.
Yeah.
So, you know, car rides, that's social. Everything is so anything outside of the environment they sleep in is socializing, even when walking through the woods or whatever, because like knowing, you know how when a dog see like a squirrel and shit?
Yep.
Like squirrel, like they gotta be exposed to things. So if they just see something for the first time, you may be off for a walk and let's say you got a trained dog that never really been to a certain area and they never seen a raccoon or a possum. Now you off leash training and it sees some shit they ain't never seen before. And what it do? Boom.
Oh, they're beelining. It doesn't matter if there's traffic around, whatever. My dog, listen, we live out in the middle of like nowhere almost now.
Woods.
Everything lives out here. And guess what? None of these dogs react to any of it. I get squirrels hopping off of trees, onto the ground, up a tree.
They just let them be.
And these dogs, you can tell, they see it, they give it a look, and they just keep on chewing on stick or whatever they're doing out there. And it's very important that you guys get this stuff down. And to follow on to that, crate training. Just dealt with a guy that was having all these issues, but told me he didn't believe in crates. He didn't believe in crating the dog. Didn't believe in crating the dog like it's some mythical creature out there. I'm just telling you guys right now, if you have a puppy and you're not crating it,
yeah, you have to. There's no choice.
You're neglecting your animal.
Yeah.
Puppies crave structure. They crave leadership. They are dogs. They have a pack mentality from the very second they're born. And if you are not displaying to them that you're a confident pack leader, and that doesn't mean being a tough guy, being loud, being dominant, but if you're not showing them the way in a positive direction, so like before puppies leave here, you guys go back and look at older videos. When I think I started showing this with Luna and Prince's litter, I would put crates in my living room. So I had 7 pups in that litter. A few times a day, I would put these dogs in a crate for, I think, I started about 5 weeks, and I'd put them in there at 5 to 15 minute intervals in a heavy trafficked area of my house, so the living room. After 2 or 3 days, yeah, the dog's gonna throw a fit because it hasn't been caged before. Just like your toddler throws a fit when you tell them it can't run through a parking lot, right? They don't want to listen at first, but then they go, okay, not allowed to run through the parking lot or whatever. They don't associate it with, it's not a prison cell. It's somewhere where they can be safe, somewhere they're not going to get in trouble, somewhere they're not going to make mistakes and set you back in training.
You know, how you say it's not a prison cell. I tell people I run a prison with love.
Yeah. But I mean, like the mind.
Straight up, I run a prison. My dogs are my inmates, but I love them.
Yeah. But the mentality that people have is like they're torturing their dog if they cage it. I mean, I got dogs in cages right now. They love their life. I mean, I give them structure. We do the same things every day. They eat at the same time. In the morning, they eat at the same time at night. They go out a certain way out of their kennels. They train a certain way, and that consistency brings them peace of mind. Now, you think you're being nice by letting your dog stay out of the crate at night, and then you wake up and the shoe's eaten, and there's a pile of poop in the one room. Yep. And there's all these things that happen throughout the night while you're sleeping peacefully, being real nice to your dog. And half the time people wake up and they're punishing the dog. You pooped here, I'm gonna rub your nose in it. Dog has no idea why its nose is being rubbed in a pile of shit. They're smacking it with a shoe. Dog has no idea why you're smacking it with a shoe. It's not associated. It's like a goldfish when they're that young. If you don't address the issue instantly, they have no idea what you're talking about. They don't speak English and they're not people. And when they're out of the crate for the first couple weeks, Ty, you remember that exotic bully you were training a few years ago, and you were teaching it table manners, I think, and you put that it was like an
white bully. Yeah, I tied him up.
Yeah. So you tied him to your ankle. I do that with every puppy I have now. Anywhere I'm going in the house, I tie it on a little leash. It's about 2-3 feet long.
Yeah, about 2 feet.
Yeah, about 2 feet long, and it teaches the dog so much. And anytime the dog has an accident, it happens right in front of me.
You can correct it right away.
In front of me, and I can correct it right now. And dogs, all they want to do is please you, and they don't know what wrong is. That's your job to show them. So if they ate a shoe, the second the dog gets a shoe in its mouth, it's right there in front of me. Take the shoe.
I'm glad you said that. Dogs don't know right from wrong. They only know what you teach them. That's it.
Yep.
That's all they know is what you teach them. And you got Lovecraft on here with Bear.
Yeah, hang on one second.
Yeah, he asking about stacking. If you want to stack your dog and compete in the show ring, do not teach your dog to sit first. Teach them the stay command. If you want to have a so-called show dog, the first command you need to teach them is the stay command. When you teach the dog to stay, you can do anything with them. I mean, teaching a dog to sit down and lay down is real easy, but staying is what stacking is, where you just tell your dog to stay, and then you can hand stack them as a puppy, and they will learn how to free stack. But if you Lovecraft, if you trying to, let's say, stack Bear, you need to stop. Don't tell him to sit every single day. You need to teach him to stay. If you teach him to stay, he'll freeze, and it'll be easy where you can hand stack him and put his legs into place with. But that's a simple question. But like what you were saying about I run a prison. I'm being real with you.
Yeah.
Like I love my dogs, but the only way you can have success with a lot of dogs, where at one point having over 30 dogs, you have to have a system. You can't. If I told somebody the other day, that it was kind of similar how you was like they didn't want to crate train. They wanted to kind of like use their whole backyard as a crate, or I leave them out in the backyard, then they come in the house. I'm like, well, if you just want an animal to just be free, then you shouldn't have bought an animal that requires training.
Yeah.
You can get a bird.
You're actually doing your dog a disservice. It's abuse for what you're expecting out of the dog versus what you're showing the dog. It's abuse.
Yeah, like if you don't look, every person that buys a dog is a dog trainer. If you don't like to train a dog, you don't need a dog. You can get a cat, and they they be chilling. They ain't gonna give a fuck about you. You could die. They gonna eat your food. They gonna go to somebody else's house. Like it depends on, like, if you want a dog, you have to have some kind of appreciation for training it. I mean, that's, if you want a dog, I don't know why a person would want a dog and not like to train it. That don't make sense.
No.
But,
and a lot of people, there's like a few YouTube channels out there, purely positive trainers. That is not even, that doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense. How do you associate doing wrong if you've never been given a correction? If you're a toddler and you go to preschool and you know how kids like to fight, you know, playing around. So if your kid goes up, or somebody else's kid comes up to your kid, punches it in the face, and nobody ever tells them that was wrong, do you think that kid will ever think he's not supposed to punch people in the face?
Yeah, you got it correct. You know, and you correct. Like, remember that live video what I made with Hollywood, how I made him watch everybody eat?
Yep.
I don't care how old a dog is, you know, I'm always discipline them, you know, and because training is a lifetime, you know, even though you do things at 8 weeks, you're going to do it at 5 years old, 8, 10, 12. You're going to always, training is it's a part of dog ownership. So even if my dogs, regardless how young or how old, I still have to correct. And correcting, I will literally, like, you know, how I feed the dogs together, and like I do a thing where I make a sound and they all eat. If a dog tries to hog or protect the bowl, I would make them watch the other dogs eat for 3 days. Like I would just watch you because they are a pack, they are all one, so nobody's more important. So I make sure I keep a balance on behavior, because you know there's a difference. Like, you know, Mavis for your yard, she's a younger puppy, so her training is a little bit different than what you do with Prince.
Yeah.
And if you had an old dog, that training would be totally different, because they are at an age where they're getting, the older dog get, the more independent they get. People want to understand, you have to socialize older dogs more than younger dogs, because it's like people, you know, you see people 60, 70 years old live by themselves, they start getting angry. So socialization is it's throughout a lifetime. You know what I mean? You know, like right now, I put up like Hollywood and Deja together, right? Like they sleep together. Like I make sure that, you know, dogs are just always getting some kind of training at all times. Like to keep Hollywood young, I put some puppies in there with him, so puppies don't bother him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because dogs can get older and start to like just get to a state. So you have to constantly do things, whether they're young or old, to keep their mentally sane. And this Noel just asked about his puppy. That's Noel, you got to start walking your puppy with treats. So the puppy, he said something about he would like take off. She probably distracted, so he just got to start walking her with treats and keep the attention on you.
Yeah. And then, you know, also what we were just talking about before, that little ankle leash, that'll fix most of it. I mean,
you do that. Yep.
Like when I have dogs that are here from, you know, from the get-go that I'm training, and I do that, I don't even find myself ever having the dog try to pull on a leash. You know, like naturally, I don't have to correct that really.
Yeah, explain that. Hey, Joe, dude, yeah, I think you should explain that for people about, I've been doing that a long time. When you tie a dog to you, you can control the dog without having to do anything or say anything. Like you could like explain. I think people that's tuned in, especially people like Noel or anybody that's young puppies, because Christian in here too. Christian got a neurological son. Like to be able to control the dog in the house and out of the house, like just tying them.
All right. So I'll just break down what I do, and it handles a lot of things, from potty training. You're killing all these birds with one stone. You got potty training that'll get taken care of, socializing, how to walk on a leash, how to behave in public, how to behave in its downtime. Hey, got Royce trying to breastfeed on baby right now. Table manners, all of these things. So I get a dog, and immediately what I do is I get that 2 foot line, and I will tie off one part of the line to my left ankle. Because when we teach the dog the heel is done on your left side. So I'll tie it off to my left ankle. Anytime, with exceptions of using the bathroom, taking a shower, cooking, watching TV, or doing something where I can't focus on the dog, then the dog's in the crate. But any other time than that, the dog is right there on my side. Everywhere I walk, the dog gets up and walks with me because it doesn't have a choice. If I sit down at the table, the dog is at the table, and it's not allowed to look up and beg, because I'll have my foot, the front of my foot, on the end of that line connected to the puppy's collar. So the dog will be in a laying down position underneath the table the entire time. It's never gonna look up, whimper, acknowledge. It's never gonna know anything other than when we get to the table, I'm not to do anything but lay down and mind my own business. And so if the dog has an accident, it's happening right there in front of me. And what I do to correct it, I make a real loud clap and a high pitched yell, real loud enough to scare the dog and make it tense up. So I'm not smacking it, rubbing its nose in its face. I'm just clapping my hands real loud, making a high pitched noise. The dog tenses up immediately from that initial fear, like startled, you know. I pick the dog up and I walk it right outside and I set it down. We spend no more than 2.5 minutes outside. If the dog finishes using the bathroom, guess what? It just did what I wanted it to do. So I'm going to positively reinforce that right there. I'm going to throw it a Super Bowl party. If the dog doesn't go in that 2.5 minutes, we're going to come back inside. We're not going to do anything. We're not going to punish. We're not going to say, no, you don't go in the bathroom in the house. We're just going to come right back in the house and go back to business as usual. We're going to start walking around doing this. Now, I'm going to be cognitive of the fact that the dog has to use the bathroom. I just tried. So in about 15 to 20 minutes, I'm going to walk the dog back outside, and we're going to spend another 2.5 minutes walking around out there. But I'm going to sit there stoically, not giving the dog any sort of acknowledgement, because we're not out here to play. So it lets the dog know when we come out and I'm on that line, we're not out here for fun. We're out here to use the bathroom. That's it. If I'm not using the bathroom, we have no business out here. We go right back inside. When they use the bathroom, I throw that Super Bowl party. Guess what? The line comes off and they get 5 minutes of free time to do whatever they want to do. They get to, I'll throw a stick. They get to go run around, smell things, chew on stuff. They get to do whatever. After that 5 minutes, it's back on. And I do this everywhere I go. Every single place I go. And if I can't do it, I won't be there. I won't be in that place, with the exception of work. And my old job, I used to take the dogs with me everywhere, or every time I went. But the department I'm at now, it's way busier, and it'd be unfair to the dog to bring it. Mm-hmm. But that teaches the dog to be calm in public, be not scared of everything. So I'm going in, say, Home Depot. There's the sliding, the automatic doors. If a dog never sees that and it hits a year old, hey, and it's a year old, and the first time it sees it automatic doors at that time, the dog is going to lose its mind, because that's just weird. But if it's been doing this since birth, not going to pay attention. Take one of those big, long, flat carts and start banging them up, up and down, making that real loud noise. You start doing that from 6 weeks old, 8 weeks old, not a problem ever. It's not something that's going to send the dog into a fearful place. So it just teaches manners, potty train. You're socializing, and then you get that leash, how to walk on a leash without doing any work. And by the time you're actually taking the dog, now it's a little bit older. Now you're trying to start incorporating the obedience training with heel and all that. A dog pulling on a leash is not even something that comes into it doesn't even factor in anymore.
Yeah. Like that's something that Noel is still listening to try that tactic. Keep it tied to you. If you at home and you're not working, because I know he'd be working, but if he at home, to just keep it tied to you at all times, even when you go for a walk. But even when you go for a walk and you're going with distractions, you keep some kind of little treats on you to keep her attention span on you, because you can, like, you know, you can have them tied to you, but if you're not choosing to be like, you know, Joe, when you get excited for the puppy, because you're excited, they're excited. But if you're just walking, like just to walk, it's good to have a treat to keep them engaged. And that's where, like, you know, where the trend, like going from the difference of the competition heel for the loose heel, all the difference between the competition heel and the loose heel is how much attention you're putting into that. And that's how walks are. You know, you can walk your dog, and some people walk their dogs to be adventures. For me, if I walk a dog, I'm walking them to desensitize them from the world, to be able to focus on me. They don't.
Yeah, I guess I forgot to mention that. I'll always carry a little pouch, and I'll keep it full of that raw Bill Jacks, that like refrigerated raw food. It's that real, it's like a Play-Doh consistency kind of food.
Attention just like that.
Oh yeah, man, they love it. And then once I start training, I'll start with a clicker.
Noel, you can do either or. He asked with the foot or the wrist. I use both.
Yeah.
I use
the reason
both.
I like to do a short leash on my left side, and I don't know why Ty started doing it, but I picked it up, and
that's the competition side. Like,
yeah, exactly. That's what I was gonna say, is that when you want the dog to start doing the heel, it's got to be done on the left side, you know, to be correct for any competition. And so I just naturally make the dogs walk on my left side, even if I'm not going to be doing any competition. It just for me, that's what I want. But if it doesn't matter to you, then you can go either side.
It don't matter. You can do whatever.
Yeah, but your dog will never leave that left side if that's where it's tied to.
Yeah, like it's nowhere. It's real easy. And then just always remember, with training a puppy, never be focused on what you want the dog to do when they're a year or 2 years old. Make training fun, like at the age it is, because some people don't even realize it, where they get frustrated with young puppies because they want them to be trained already. And when you do that, it can like inflict like insecurities or nervous. Yeah, like you gotta just, like Noel, when you walking, let's say you tied to your ankle, you walking, whenever Hennessy just like look at you, be like, hell yeah, and just give her a treat. Like, you gotta do the little things, and it builds up. Because you know, people, especially with Hollywood, people have watched me do things with that dog and think like I taught that dog to be like that in like a month. Or that shit take years. Especially like it took me like 3 months to get Hollywood to trust himself jumping off of high shit. You know how Prince don't give a damn? Like, he'll just jump high as hell, don't give a damn?
Oh yeah.
Hollywood is like, he'll jump, but then whenever he would jump on something, he'll look down and be like, shit. So I had to damn, you would get up here, but you asked me to get down. So I would have to it took me like 3 months of going to different places and like jumping up there with him and jumping down when he like, cool. So even those little things people may see, like, you know, I'd be like, you know, telling him to bite something to release. Yeah. That's months of like, you know, the command release, like just sitting there and playing a little game. And it's not like, you know, when people see a video and they'll see like you know, the great video you just did where you were all the dogs were in basically the competition hill. Yeah. You didn't do that in 3 days. You know what I mean? No. But people have to understand that. They'll be like, hurricane dogs are smart. Yeah, they smart, but they still need fucking training. You know what I mean? So yeah, still dog. It's some kind of like magic wand that if I do this one time, it's gonna fix. Like, it's a guy you got on here. I don't know how to say it. Dale Vela. He said he got a 9-month-old dog trying to introduce it to an 8-week-old puppy. One thing he can't do, energy is important. You can't be afraid to introduce your dog to a puppy, because 9 months is still a puppy. Them 2 puppies. So if you're afraid, then your dog's gonna be afraid. So yeah, I would. I mean, I would personally have the older dog on a leash when they meet. Take them on a walk together. That's the best thing you can do. Just take them on a walk. I mean, take them into a neutral location. I never like to introduce a new dog to a new situation in the dog's home environment. You always want dogs to meet somewhere different because they can't be territorial.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Like if you bring another male there right now, Prince not aggressive, but he gonna size that joker up because that's what a dog's supposed to do. It's like he like, I pee here, I sleep here. Who are you? But if you like go somewhere and they at a park or a neutral location, it's easier for dogs to transition, bringing a newer dog because it's just how it is.
Yeah, and if you're tense, I'm telling you, that dog is gonna feel it, and it's gonna make even a calm dog tense. If you're worried about something happening, you're probably gonna cause something to happen. You're constantly worried. The dog's gonna go, okay, I thought we were cool. You're worried. This is the only other new thing around. That means I should probably be worried too. Let me handle this right now. Let me take care of this problem that just walked into the room, so you don't have to worry anymore. And that's kind of where that's stemming from. So it's like you caused the dog to feel like it needed to protect you, in a sense.
You did, the owner did that, not the dog.
Yeah, exactly. The owner did it. And like what you were saying with Hollywood, so recently we started taking Prince to Lowe's, doing like just confidence building exercises, because it was getting to the point where when we would just walk him through, he was getting like kind of bored with it. You know what I mean? And probably because I was getting kind of bored with it. And so what we started doing was to get him his excitement level back up. I go in the lumber section, and I have him jump up on the lumber stacks, and then I have him jump up from that lumber stack to the next lumber stack to the next to the next to the next. And at first, we were cool. We jumped on the first one. We got to the second one, and it's like a confined space, which he'd never been introduced to before. And it's on me. I never even thought about it. You could see not fear, but like unsure of that environment. So what I did, pull him out. He's uncomfortable there. So what do? We start from scratch. Jump back on the first one, where he was very comfortable. As soon as he gets on the first one, I praised it way more than I did originally. And then I had him put his front paws up on the next one. As soon as he did that, I praised it. You're doing good. You're doing great. This is awesome. Then we got him up all the way up to that second row. Same thing. Guess what? The second time when I was praising him the whole way up, there was zero insecurity. He was like, he wanted to show off. He wanted to keep jumping up to show me. So it's building thresholds. Another thing we were just starting to do today, I had two kennels open. I put the rest of the dogs inside just for this exercise. And I put Prince in one kennel, Mavis in the other kennel, and I had that toy I was showing earlier. I'd put them in the place command on their bed, and I'd call the other dog out. So Prince was cool. He's done this 100 times. Keep Prince in his place command with the door open. Call Mavis out to come catch the toy. All right, we're fine. He's done this. This is something he's used to. It's a game to him. Now I put Mavis, who knows the place command, by the way, in the place command. Now I call Prince out to get the toy. A trained dog knows the place command, around distractions, everything. Guess what she does? She starts to break out early. So that's something new we can do now. Now we're going to build that threshold, And I can't expect her, if I've never done that around her, I can't expect her to go from, oh, you broke it once. Now I'm going to sit here and you're going to stay there until 5 minutes goes by. No, I seen she broke that immediately. So next time, Mavis. Next time, what I did was I only went about five seconds before I released her and praised her for it. And we did that for like 15 minutes. But each time I did it, I increased the time where she had to stay on the place board by about 5 seconds each time. She'll sit there as long as I need her to now, no matter how many toys Prince is chasing out of his kennel. What do we got?
All right, Deshaun told me to hit him up.
Okay.
But yeah, you're right, man. You got to build. It's called building tolerance, training tolerance. So yeah, you just build a tolerance. You can't. That's all supportive of just how Noel asked that question about, like, you know, about the things that the puppy's doing when walking. You got a baby step. You know, you got to build up the tolerance of training. You know, especially it don't matter what it is. If you're teaching any command, you have to build up the level of and that's what obedience trials is. Like that whole bully training club thing, it's always going to be in existence, but we got to get more people. It's so many people contacting me about the bully training club, but we have to make it's even though Hurricane Bloodline culture is training dogs, but the breed as a whole, the majority of bully owners don't give a damn. So it's like the bully training club is something that, and I was just bringing that up because it's about training. Is that it's basically making people more holding them more accountable about having a trained bully, man. Because it's so many people. I've watched people that, you know, people, you know how you get calls all the time about people asking for, you know, they want to buy a puppy, they want to buy a puppy.
Yeah.
I've had people like over like a 10-year span where I noticed, I'm like, damn, it seems like I heard from this person before. And what happened is that I've never sold a dog to them, but they'll contact me about if I have some available, and I don't, and I won't have none available, but then they'll go somewhere else and buy something, and they just be in love with buying a puppy.
Yeah.
They don't like having dogs. And I've noticed this about a lot of people who have just been like, you know, hey, I follow what you're doing, boom. And then they'll text me, you know, I've gotten text with them like, oh, I got this, I need your help, I want advice. I'm like, didn't you say you had a dog like 2-3 years ago? What the fuck? Where is that at? So it's a thing of if you do all these things that we mentioned in this video, these little things, you can enjoy a pet for 15 years.
Yeah.
And if you're not a breeder, you don't need to have 5, 10, 15, 20 dogs. Like this is a, you know, Ride or Die Canine is a breeding program. Bully Affiliate is a breeding program. Like I breed dogs. I'm gonna breed dogs till I'm dead and gone. I would never stop breeding dogs. I will breed dogs even if money goes away, because I like to be able to create animals that are a reflection of who I am as a person. Like I'm very disciplined. You know what I'm saying? I love to, you know, protect the people I care about. I just everything a hurricane dog is, you know what I mean? And that's why Joe a lot of ways is like, you know, protective as fuck. He know I fuck some this way, he'll fuck somebody up if somebody try to threaten his family. So it's just a thing with this training. If you do the little things with your young puppy, if you do those little things and you continue to do those little things and they become normal, you should never, as a trainer, Joe, have to train somebody's dog over and over again. You should always have, when it pertains to training, it should always be new clientele, because that means that they learn the information that they need to know to be successful as an owner. So
yeah, if they choose not to do anything with it, well,
yeah, the only
don't
way,
waste my time.
Yeah, the only way that somebody would literally have to constantly pay you is they don't have the time, and it's the services. You know what I mean? You know those people who just like they work a lot or they travel and they're just like, I need you to be my trainer. But if you're like a person that's work a regular job and they're at home with their dog and they need help, that's just pure laziness.
Yeah.
That's just laziness. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that goes along with the guy that's bringing his dog by. He'll be bringing it by in a couple days here. And he might be listening right now. And this is something we started talking about and we're going to finish talking about anyway. And it's not a secret, so I have no problem saying it.
Yeah.
It's your fault. I mean, it's this individual's fault that his dog is now becoming fear aggressive towards human beings. So the first time he took it out, the dog started barking at people. And this is what he's telling me. So like I said, I haven't seen it yet. I don't really know what I'm dealing with yet. I just go off what he's telling me. Start barking at people, and people are afraid of it because he said he's huge. But he said, well, he barks, hair's up, eyes real dilated, and tail's tucked in between his legs. And he thinks he's dealing with an aggressive dog. When, no, that's a very scared dog, because you've never done anything with him, and now you're asking him to go out and, you know, it's like you going, we've talked about this analogy before. It's like your parents have you, you're a baby, and they keep you till you're 30 in the basement. And then all of a sudden one day, they just pick you up and take you to the Mall of America.
Yeah. Not gonna go well.
It's not gonna go well. You're gonna be freaking out. You've never seen another person before. Other than your parents, you didn't even know people existed outside of that house. And now they're just wall to wall. And you are losing your mind. Well, that's what the dog's doing. And now every time he barks, someone backs up. Well, now you just told him he won. Now you're making the problem you created anyway. Now you're creating an even bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger problem. Because every time it happens, the dog barks louder, gets a little more in your face. And what is this individual doing? Just, it's okay. It's okay. Now you're telling them, keep going, buddy. That's what I want you to do. Keep barking, keep biting. No, you have to tell him no. You have to not tell him it's okay. That is not okay.
Yeah.
That dog, yeah, it's fear.
I mean,
it's not in the same place. It's still aggressive. Someone's gonna get bit.
I like the curse when I'm explaining shit, like, cause it's serious. You can fuck your dog up. Like, you know, I know it's all different ages, but like dogs that are fearful, that is dangerous, man. That is dangerous.
It's like it's not that stuff boils my blood, because that is not a dog that had to be that way. That's not a dog that was genetically born with these nerve issues that are, there's just nothing you can do about it. No, it's something that you've created, and now you're encouraging.
It is. But like this here, I want, hey, Joe, anybody tuned in to go on TV or internet and go watch like Animal Planet or some shit. Like, why you would never see an animal walking through the desert or the forest scared. Nothing. You ever seen a scared squirrel or a scared rack? Like, none of them. So the fact, everything, this stuff, anybody got a fearful dog, it came from something. It came from somebody abusing it. You know what I mean? Like, even puppies, a puppy can't be born scared. They don't know shit. So it's about what they're exposed to. And even though with genetics do control confidence levels, but lack of confidence don't mean scared. You know what I mean? Scared and fear is like tuck tail, barking, what you just explained. That's fear, you know what I'm saying? But lack of confidence is like dogs who just stand there and just don't do anything. They got to be encouraged. But people who this person, the Dale Bela, where they talked about the 9-month-old and then the 8-week-old puppy.
Yeah, so
they're saying that they're like that. Like, that's
okay. The dogs don't speak English, okay? And so by you think you're telling them so that they, what did you say? So that for them to know there's no harm. You're not actually telling them that there's no harm, because they, like I said, they don't speak English or Spanish or whatever language you're speaking to them. They speak dog, body language, energy. And by them acting out and you petting, saying, no, don't worry about it, you're actually telling them there was a problem. Thank you for handling that for me. I wasn't confident. I couldn't do it myself. I love you. Thank you so much for doing that for me. Do it again next time, maybe even a little bit more so. Maybe we can attack that threat quicker next time.
Yeah, you gotta kill that. You know, fear is dangerous, man. In an animal, because you gotta remember, like, us as people, you know, we speak a human language. So if people are afraid, we could talk about it. You can't talk about it with a dog. They just gonna react. So I'm letting y'all know it's very dangerous. I've seen a lot of fucked up things of people getting attacked. It was back in like 2011. This lady bought a Johnson bloodline American Bulldog.
Okay.
which they don't fuck around. These American bulldogs that a lot of country people are familiar with, they use them for hunting, and they use them as the catch dog.
They tear a hog up. I've seen videos.
They're the catch dog, and the lady just wanted a all white bulldog. She wasn't aware of what she purchased. And the lady called me, and the shop I had at the time, when she pulled up, she had a minivan.
Yeah, I'm still listening. I'm gonna let Prince out. He's got to use the bathroom. I'm still listening. I'm right here.
Good. And when the lady pulled up, the dog was like fiercely barking because the dog wasn't being able to live a life that it was bred to actually do, which is hunt. And the dog was being cooped up in a crate most of the day, and not being able to do what it was bred for. And this lady had a baby's probably like a year old, something like that. And literally, I said, lift the back end up, and don't let me do what I do. You leave me alone, because I'm the one working with the dog. Let me do what I do. So of course the dog was aggressive as fuck, and I just do what I do to be. I got the dog out, put the dog next to me, and she was like kind of emotional. But what was crazy about it was she has this baby, and she's holding her baby. And by me holding this dog had no sense of it, no kind of family or pack. It was just so scared and aggressive that even when she's sitting there talking to me, this dog was growling at her and the baby. He was that afraid because I was dominating him.
Yeah, because they've gone into that fight or flight state where nothing matters other than defending itself. It thinks everything now is a threat. When you go into a fight or flight sense because your sympathetic nervous system is just raging with hormones, there's no clear thinking going on at all. That's no different than people. You lose all your cognitive abilities. Your fine motor functions gone.
Yep. And I know
you see people going through a big adrenaline rush, run right into the middle of the road and get hit by a car or something because they didn't even see it.
I already know it's your job. You see that shit. I already know that.
Yeah. All the time. All the time. And you know that this dog, it's aggression, but a dog with fear aggression is not something I'm going to be afraid of. But everyone else is afraid of this because majority of people would just categorize it as a crazy pit bull, fitting the stereotype, just like everyone says, you know what I mean? And I'm just gonna I'm not gonna bow down, but I'm not gonna force myself into that. You know, I'm not gonna make the dog even worse. Because believe it or not, these dogs are actually really soft handling dogs. You put too much pressure on them, they will actually shut down. I mean, you can totally break one of these dogs very easily with the wrong kind of overwhelming alpha mentality energy coming at them too quickly, too fast.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, they're not German Shepherds. Those are dogs, they like to be handled harder. They like force. These dogs are not that.
Yeah, these are talking about these are companion dogs, man. You can break these dogs, their spirit. And that, what he doing right now with Mavis, just sitting down and dogs that American bullies, Hurricane Blood, these all American bullies, they are companion dogs. So just like with Noel say, that's why when people, hitting your dogs, abusing your dogs, physically abusing your dogs doesn't benefit. You may have situations where you may handle them in an aggressive manner, but actually hitting or abusing your dog, no. Because whenever I deal with aggressive dogs, you have to handle them in a strong, intensive way before you abuse them. So it's very important because Joe wanted to have this conversation. We're talking about just treating dogs like animals, man. Your dog.
Ixa, we don't blame you. All right, we know you're not. We know you're not intentionally trying to do these things, okay? We understand. We're not saying that you're buying a dog with the sole purpose of confusing confusing and abusing it. No, that's not what we're saying at all. We're just trying to help you. If it sounds like we're coming off like we're talking down to you, that's not the case. So don't, she said shame on me. Nobody, there's no punishment. Just, learn from it and move forward.
Yeah, that's how you learn, making mistakes. And this person asking about, that's 101 right there. When Joe was saying the dogs don't speak English, dogs don't speak any human language. Your dog, if you want your dog to come to you, you just squat down to their level and you use a high-pitched voice.
Yeah.
You can speak Swahili, you can speak French. As long as you use a high-pitched voice and you drop down to their level, any dog will come to you. Like and that's something that I know you speak on these things. So
yeah. So like Ty was saying, like you could make a language up.
you can make some shit up.
You can tell your dog
lion language.
Yeah, if you want your dog to sit and you want to call it broccoli or nacho, every time you say nacho, your dog will sit. It's just consistently the same thing. They figure out that means that. When he says this, every time I do this, that he stops saying it, or there's no correction, or there's a reward, so it must be what he wants,
Mm-hmm. And
we know that's not you. We know that's not what your intentions are, Yixa. We know you love your dogs, but that's what we were getting into, with the whole separating emotions that you would give people to emotions you would give your dogs. Because
and this is what I want to remind people of. So you remember that these are animals. If we didn't feed these animals, they would be eating squirrels. If we didn't kennel them, they will breed with their mom or dad. Like they don't have the cognitive understanding of like the things we do. So remember that this is an animal. Like when you're not paying attention, the male dogs, they're licking their own balls. Like they are animals.
Mm-hmm.
And I like to say extreme things to remind you that I don't care if you put clothes on them. I don't care how much money you spend on them. They are animals. And the more you just completely absorb that, you can love them properly.
And I love my dogs. And I know, Ty, literally, we love them.
Yeah, but
more than most people. But that doesn't mean we have to show it the same way we would show people.
It's different.
By giving them corrections and giving them boundaries and giving them making them work for rewards, that they take that the same way as you pinching your baby's cheeks and goo goo gaga and loving it and doing little airplane noises. It equates to the same level of gratitude. They both I don't know how to say what I'm trying to say, but maybe you can clear that up. It's the same level of love. In their mind, they appreciate it just as much.
Yeah, like dogs they're animals, they naked. They don't need no clothes. If people put clothes on them, because you're doing it. Whatever you do for your dog, all your dog needs is love, food, and water. You do those things, the dog will do whatever you want. If you provide love, food, and water, your dog will do anything for you. Love, food, and water. Because with love is associated with training, attention, all the different elements of what love is. And then you got food and water. If you feed them, hydrate them, and provide love, they will run through a wall for you. They will take a bullet for you. And if all people was like that, the world would be an amazing place. But that's why I love dogs so much, because they literally represent like what we should aim to be as human beings. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. And so like I don't want people to get confused and think they shouldn't, bond with their dogs.
Oh yeah, love your dog.
For example, if I'm sitting on the couch, I don't want. So today earlier with Royce, I put a picture up on Facebook of Royce sitting on a blanket on the couch with Bobby. That was set up that way. So Bobby's sitting on the couch, and Royce was asked to come up on the couch. She called him up on the couch to pet and love him. That is not a problem. She called him up on the couch, gave him the love. There's nothing wrong with it. Now, if Bobby's laying on the couch and she's sitting there watching TV, not paying attention to the dog, and Royce jumps on the couch and just plops down like it or not, here I am. That's a problem. And that's the difference that we're talking about. Because a dog that does that is making decisions on its own. In a dog's mind, a dog that's making decisions that you have to deal with, not you making the decisions, just placed himself a little bit higher on the food chain. And it all these issues, these fear aggressive, these aggressive towards other animals, dominant in pack settings, it all stems from that right there. I mean, everything you do is training with your dog. It's not always obedience. It's everything you do. They watch everything. They study our habits. So if I just say I didn't have these kennels, and I just put my dogs out here in the garage, or I just put my dogs in the house, and I didn't enforce any rules. You know, you want to lay wherever you want to lay, that's fine. You want to walk around and pick up toys wherever you want to, that's fine. I would have a bloodbath on my hands because I wouldn't be in charge anymore. And that has, what that does, it resets the pecking order. Someone else in the pack has to step up and take control because I'm not doing it. And if there's two dogs that feel like they deserve that place in the food chain, and neither one of them are willing to give that up, you got a huge fight coming your way. And it's not because you got animal aggressive dogs. It's because there's no strong pack leadership going on.
Facts. All facts.
All right, let's see what we got going on here. I haven't read these comments in a minute. Okay, question. No problem, no problem. You guys got any other questions? Shoot them out. I don't know if we missed anything or if there's anything else you wanted.
That was a lot of, I mean, based on people remembering one, like, you know, not leaving toys out, making sure toys are being used for training purposes so they have an effect. You got that out of the way. And then also treating the dogs like a dog. They can, you just mentioned that, the story about like, if like Bobby was like on the couch and Royce just jumped up there, you know, no dog should ever have the power to initiate anything. They, you know, if you say go lay down, it's lay down into, you know, something is proposed to the dog to do something else. And structure is good. Like these you can, it's not rocket science. The legally dog training is the simpler you keep it, the better off you are as an overall dog owner. Some people do too much. They're reading all kind of books. They're researching all these videos. They're trying all these different things, and they're confusing the dog. When all you just got to do is just lay down basic routines and rules and stick to them, you know, and also everybody in the household following those rules. You know what I mean? Because you know how it is. It could be 5 people living in the house, and everybody got different relationships with the dog, and then now the dog tries to manipulate people. So you know, just a part of what you said, of which is all facts about having clear-cut rules, but everybody operating in that same agreement. So the dog knows, like, I love, the dog is getting love. The dog can get pet. Dog can sit on the couch when called. Like, you know how you sit at the table eating? If you call the dog over, then the dog comes over and sits or does what you ask it, but the dog is not coming to beg or just be in a place that it's not supposed to be. So it's all.
You're like, this is fine.
That's normal.
Call him over here. There's nothing wrong with loving my dog.
Mm-hmm. Like
doing this,
but you do it based on your terms. On your terms.
And I'm going to send him away, and he's going to be happy with it.
Mm-hmm. And they be like, I'll snap with them, go off, go away, and they just walk away and lay down. And then your dog is perfectly happy. And I know I work with some mentally messed up people. They're like, no, it's my baby. Well, your baby gonna give you problems as long as they move. So if your dog is your baby, I got kids. Babies.
Your baby, you're keeping a trainer.
Yeah.
Lights on.
Yeah, you gonna have you might well take money out your check every week and month to pay somebody to train your baby, because that's what you're gonna get, a baby.
Because without your babies, dog trainers would have no job.
Yeah, you keep keep saying that's your baby, you're gonna always have problems. But that's it. I gotta go back out here with these puppies.
All right. I appreciate everybody tuning in.
Go ahead.
We're gonna have some puppies, possibly some puppies available. Baby is looking huge. I mean, like Luna size. You know, when Luna had that last litter, she ended up having like 13 puppies in her. We only ended up getting 7 out of it due to an issue with the vet, but she's huge. Now, I don't think there's 13 dogs in there, but I think there's definitely more than the 5 I've accounted for. Could be wrong, but she's definitely huge. So if you guys are inquiring about a hurricane puppy, go ahead and call me at 440-231-2334 after I get off this live. We can start chatting from there. And to kind of go a little bit more in depth with, and maybe I'm beating a dead horse here, but we breed, you know, people come to us all the time because we breed stable-minded dogs. And we actually put in a lot of that groundwork for you guys. When the dogs are 3 days old here, and I talk about it all the time, we start that early neurological stimulation. So we're already from day 3 building a dog's threshold to handle the stress. We're putting them on an ice cold rag for 5 seconds at a time. This is before their ears are open, before their eyes are open. That stresses the dog out, but it only lasts 5 seconds, but it's much needed stress. When you go to school, when you're working out, when you're doing something that takes a little bit of effort. So for people that live up north, when you're shoveling the snow off your driveway, there's a certain amount of stress that comes with that, but it's needed so you can get out of your house. So we put them on a cold rag. We get them cold. Starts to build a threshold over time. We do this for another 2 weeks. By the time that's done, the dog doesn't care if it's cold anymore. It's not stressed out about that anymore. Then we take the puppy, hold it upside down for about 5 seconds. This starts to, it helps with the heart rate. It helps with the blood pressure. There's health benefits that come along with that. Hold it upside down. Now the dog's used to being upside down. You get a lot of these pups that I see in pet stores and different people bringing them over to show them off. You put the dog on their back and they have a fit. I mean, they will do anything to not be on their back because it's a very vulnerable position for a dog to be in. So we get them used to being on their back, letting them know that there's nothing to worry about. You know, we're petting them that 5 seconds. And then we take a Q-tip and we start rubbing it in their ears. We start rubbing it in their, their private areas, in between their paws. And we start so that when they get home, you got to clip their nails. I mean, we got to clip puppies' nails a couple times before they leave at 8 weeks. And if the first time their paws are getting touched is when that first nail clipping comes, the dog's going to be fighting it off. And what are you doing? It's just all these little things. We breed stable dogs, but if they're never exposed to these things, that dog I was talking about earlier that's going to be coming by for training with a huge insecurity issue, that could happen to any hurricane dog in the wrong hands. They're not. The work still has to be put in, and we start bringing them out at 6, 8 weeks old. But if I send that dog home, it's been exposed to a certain amount of things. But if it never gets exposed to that again, and a year later you're expecting it to go out and do what Prince does or Mavis does or what a lot of you other guys as hurricane dogs can do, because you guys are putting in that work, it's not going to happen. And you could still get a dog that bites out of fear, and it's not coming from anger. It's just coming out of insecurity issues. But anyway, I'm going to get off here. you guys are interested in anything, give me a call, training advice, maybe something I didn't clarify on here, just give me a call, 440-231-2334, shoot us an email at rideordiecanines.com. Also, go ahead and join that Facebook page, Hurricane Bloodline American Bullies. All right, have a good night.